Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? Welcome to another Relationship Thursday. We're going to give y'all a second to come on into the room this evening. Where y'all are tuning in from, please let us know. We're happy to be back. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's been a couple of weeks since we've seen y'all. Because of the nature of this topic, y'all, we decided to be in a basement this evening. Away from the kids, in the dungeon, hiding out. What's up, Fast Man? In the dungeon, in the spare bedroom, where we got all of our leftover stuff, junk stuff. And so again, please excuse the panel in the back. And we got some poles in the back where we put up our. Really, what are you doing? I'm giving too much detail. Yeah, like right, please excuse it, but we in the basement, y'all, because we got to talk about some real sensitive stuff this evening. Some real sensitive stuff. If you're just joining us, I am Iana Ma'at. This is my amazing, fabulous, dynamic protector, my confidant, my boo, my babe, my boy. This is Ayize. Thank you, my husband. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this right here is my lovely wife, my queen, my confidant, my best friend, my soulmate, my sweetheart, my delicious. You said I looked frumpy earlier, though. I did say that. I did. You told me to take this sweater off. I said take the sweater on. Get rid of the sweater. I'm like, it be cold down here. Yeah. I'll be frumpy. It's okay. Hey, let us know where y'all are checking in from. YouTube, let us know. We see here on YouTube, we ain't got no comments yet. Maybe there's a pause here, but on Facebook, what's up, everybody on Facebook? We see you guys. It's a brand new year. It is what's today's date? Today is the 3rd. The 3rd is the 3rd day of 2019. And we thought it, would be really appropriate to start off focusing on something that you cannot get away from if you're really trying to have a good, successful, strong, solid, sexy relationship. Mm-hmm. And that is sex. Yeah. Absolutely. You don't want to have a relationship without it. Mm-hmm. And yet so many people do. Yes, indeed. Well, unfortunately, yeah. Mm-hmm. If you run into a rack of couples that we work with that are in that space where they're not really having sex, there's no intimacy in the relationship, there's no connection, and as a result, they're struggling. They're really suffering and going through some hard times. We're going to get in it tonight, y'all. Yeah. But I want to shout out Bruce. What's up, Bruce? What's up, Bruce? You said send to the camera. Can't see our brother. Oh, send to. Is that better, Bruce? Let us know, because I know he'll keep us straight. Is that better? Let us know. All right, Johnny, I see you representing ATL, and Tanisha, of course, always representing Arkansas. Marco, happy New Year, representing Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Tanisha, tell Quentin I ain't forgot about him either. So let him know I haven't forgotten about him. Okay, yeah. And I see you, Devon, representing North Carolina. Bruce, I'm going to get on you with that National Harbor, Maryland. There ain't no such thing, National Harbor, Maryland. Okay. But check this out. I was driving down 210 the other day, and it said National Harbor Exxon. So it might be it might be some changes that are in the wind here, where the city is going to change from Oxon Hill to National Harbor. Maybe that's what's going on. It might be. It might be. Yes, it's Oxon Hill and Fort Walsh. I'm trying to what's going on with YouTube. YouTube, can y'all hear us and see us? We see we got people on here, but no comments yet. So I'm not sure whether or not it's based off of. Normally isn't the case. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to get into this. And it's going to be good. If you have not chatted with us in this community before, we all keep it 100. We keep it real. And we really try to share things that we've not only seen in our professional career. We are therapists and we work with couples and we do this work every day in some shape or form. But we also just look at our own relationship. This is going to be a mixture of what we know from training and a mixture of what we have gotten from our own relationship and what we've seen in other people's relationships. So, y'all, I just want to know, we're just going to start out 2019 100. Okay, we're going to just keep it 100 off the top because we want to set the tone for tonight's live stream. And we want you to be in the right headspace. And you can't come to no class, no place, no conversation, no community round table talking about sex. I'm talking about something as important as sex is, relations. As important as relations are, and you're not really ready to be real. Now, I know that y'all are on here and your name is on here, right? And you don't know where your boo is, or maybe they're on here with you, and so you might be a little concerned. So a lot of times tonight, we're going to ask questions, and we're going to ask you to share what your understanding or experience has been just based on, what you know from friends and stuff, not necessarily you. So I want your feedback. That's the point. I want your feedback. We want to hear from you all because we think it's really important. So the first question I have for folks tonight is this. I want to know how many people are having sex on a regular basis and in a way that is fulfilling enough. Okay, so we all got, you know, the height of the mountain we want to go to, but how many people are having sex, healthy, good, strong, sexy, yummy sex on a regular basis, and are satisfied and are fulfilled? Again, you know, oh Lord, I see some tears. Oh, it's not a laugh at. I'm sorry. Oh, I mean, okay.
Nothing to laugh at.
But you all like, that's nothing to laugh at.
No, we're encouraging transparency and stuff and vulnerability. So we want people to feel comfortable sharing their stuff.
That's right. Let me know about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody said what's regular. Okay, so regular right now at this point, again, we're just getting started out just in terms of what is satisfying and fulfilling for you. So I want to know, you know, what y'all feeling. Why y'all ain't trying to keep it real though? I mean, y'all can, what do you need to tell y'all to put a symbol or something? You know what I'm saying? Put an S. Can you drop an S if you having regular sex? Ain't nobody on this joint doing that. So again, you know, y'all quiet. It's crickets out there joint. Y'all on here, and I see some hearts, but y'all ain't saying nothing. Put an S. So if I don't see a lot of S's, then that lets us know that there's some challenges around sex. And that's why we thought it was really important to make sure that we really focused on sex goals in 2019. Have you ever heard of that? Do you all know what the concept is to have sex goals? We see all the time on social media relationship goals, but we don't often hear sex goals. And within your relationship goals, you should have a subcategory, a component of that is focused on sex. And so the first thing that I want to put out in the atmosphere tonight, y'all, is that you got to have the sex conversation. Yeah. You know, for y'all who got kids, you know, those of you who have children, you know, they say, have you had the sex talk? Did you talk to them? Right. And you might procrastinate a little bit, or you know, maybe a lot. You don't necessarily want to have it. It's uncomfortable. You know, we don't really know what to say, how to say it. Well, that same dynamic oftentimes, obviously from a different vantage point, but that same dynamic exists within couples where you all have these different ideas about what you want to go down, what you want to happen, how you want it to flow, and how you want it to be. And you have not told your partner. Or maybe you need them to like pull back and stop doing some things, you know, because it's really a turnoff and you ain't told your partner. I can't tell you how many times we've sat with couples and we've had very free-flowing conversation about somebody's sex life and they have not done that with their boo. And so you got to start with having the conversation, and you can't poo-poo it and be like, well, I mean, what's that about? Like, what you mean having a conversation like that in and of itself, you know, makes you feel uncomfortable. It's okay. You should expect that. You should look for that in some way. And if you're not in that place and you can have a conversation and y'all can talk about some things and you can be a little taboo and you can share things that maybe you ain't gonna never experience because she ain't having it or he ain't having it, but at least you can talk about it. Consider yourself blessed. Don't take it for granted. Do not take it for granted. I remember, I'll say this, and I know you want to weigh in. I remember counseling a couple many years ago. And the woman talked about the fact that, you know, she wanted to experience her husband in a certain kind of way. And, you know, she wanted to have an orgasm, you know, in a certain kind of way. And she wanted him to be penetrating her when that's happening. And you know, it just wasn't working out like that. You know, she couldn't really make it work. And, you know, that kind of thing, which is very common because stimulation and orgasm happens differently for women than it does for men. And you know, that was her focus, that she was like, I haven't been able to have it just like that. And you know, what I had to tell her is, hey, look, everybody has their own goals, the things that they're focusing on, but you need to understand that you should not take it for granted that you have a connection with your husband, that you have a sexual connection, that he can bring you to orgasm, that you do have regular sex, that you all do turn each other on, that there is chemistry there, that you have to work at it a little bit, but for the most part, they had a natural flow. Like, yo, like, you do understand where you are? Many people do not have that. So wherever category you find yourself in, you need to understand that the fact that you even have the ability to have a connection and make love is a blessing. It is a blessing. And if you're not in that place, you need to understand that there is a way out. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight, giving you a way out and giving you a way to get closer if you're further along on your path.
All right, so let me jump in here. So when it comes to this whole sex piece, let me ask this question first. How many of y'all out there want more sex? Want more sex in your relationship? Let me be specific about that. Not just more sex, but more sex in your relationship. Let me see some hearts if you want more sex in your relationship.
And y'all got it. Look, let me tell you. I don't know how to say your name. Guap Rick. All right. He said, when I was talking about people in their comments, it was crickets out here. He said they sex life dries these comments. I need y'all to come with it a little bit more. You didn't let us know where you at tonight. I'm with you, Rick. So answer that question. How many people want more? I do see some S's on there. Folks are, some folks out here are really feeling good about it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good thing. So that is a good thing. So somebody asked a question earlier. They said, so what's regular? And so if we look at statistics, I better yet, before we even look at the statistics, what we say is regular based off of our experience with couples and also based off of what research has been done, at least 3 times a month is regular. At least 3 times a month. Now, some people might say that that's insufficient.
When we say that in the past, people be like, 3 times a month in the whole month? What in the world?
Yeah, but
that averages out to about once a week.
Yeah, a little less than once.
And
So if you having sex every week, would you be happy? Would you be happy if you had sex every week with your spouse, with your partner? If you had sex with your partner every week, would you be happy? Let me see some hearts. Let me see some likes if you got that.
And they might already be doing that.
You might already be doing that. Now, for those who aren't doing it, again, what we're going to give you tonight is some goals that you need to put in your relationship to make sure that you're getting that. Because to have sex at least once a week is nothing that it's not mind-blowing, it's not earth-shattering, but it's something that you should at least be having so that you can sustain the intimacy in a relationship, at least one time a week. Now, understand that depending upon the woman's cycle, you might not be doing it, but sex doesn't always have to mean penetration. Once a week, you should be engaging in some type of intimate connection that involves the genitalia, at least once a week.
So does that mean that you have to have penetration? That you actually have to have sexual intercourse?
You don't have to have penetration. You don't have to. And so again, we're gonna give you some goals tonight that you should be striving for. So let's start with that at least once per week. At least once per week. Let's make that a 2019 goal. Who's cool with that? At least once a week.
Once a week. So y'all feeling that? Some people are kind of like, y'all kind of sort of like it. But I see some folks on here like, look, we in overdrive. We going to a whole nother level there.
Okay, that's what's up.
So, that's good. Some folks may be like, we already there. But look, here's another piece that you really need to understand. That you're not going to be able to have the kind of sex that you want to have and have the frequency that you want to have if you do not prioritize it. You have to make sex a priority the same way you do anything else. When we trying to, get a job, I'm going to take it there. You're trying to get a job. What do you do when you ain't got a job? Even if you got a job, you on your job, going to the internet. What you doing? You focus. You looking on Indeed, you looking on different places, and you are applying, you putting your resume out there. You trying to figure out, who do I know, where they work at? Let me send them an email and let them know I'm in the market. You know what I'm saying? You going on LinkedIn trying to see who knows who that you might be able to be hooked up to, right? The point I'm making here is that you're consistently trying to see, because we all know that when you're in the market, you're not going to necessarily hit it every time you put your resume out. So the odds are in the numbers, are they not? And if you're not having sex and you're not, getting your numbers up there, and we're not talking just about sexual intercourse, we're talking about sexual connection. We're talking about intercourse, but we're also talking about, before you leave out, before y'all go out to that little engagement or whatever, just to, get a good feel real quick by the front door before you leave out to get you real nice and hot. Right? We're talking about that. We're talking about routinely engaging one another in an intimate way and touching one another in an intimate way so that it can never be said in your house that your partner, that your wife, your husband, your boo, your baby says, I just want to be touched. There are people who say, I just want you to touch me. So when you don't have discipline around that and you don't make sex a priority, then you're not focused. You're not thinking about it. Right. And for women, I'm just going to speak for me. And I'm going to speak for myself and women. For women, I think it's something oftentimes that we do have to discipline ourselves around because, and it's not all women, because, a lot of women got a great, healthy sex drive. I think I have a very good, solid sex drive, but this one right here, I do have to keep up with him, right? And so that's oftentimes the case for many women. We have to be really intentional. So I have to really say, it ain't gonna really do nothing for me to go get some lingerie and to put that on, but it's gonna really do something for him. So I can take my lazy behind over to the dresser and get that. It's not gonna really do nothing for me to do something new and do a new trick and figure that out and focus on that for a second, right? Because I'm good, but it's gonna do something for him. Yeah, Kamani, it is what it is. I always see you. I always see you.
I'm gonna have to tell that story.
That's a side. Why don't you go ahead and tell the story? Is that too much? Is that TMI?
That's TMI.
Yeah, that's TMI. All right, you had to come to one of our sessions in person. You had to come to a group, a couples group, and we can talk for real.
Where the PL comes from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but you wanted to say it, didn't you?
Yeah.
See, people can figure that one out. So again, you have to make sex a priority. And if you're not doing that, I want to know right now, what's the barrier? Why are you not making it a priority? I want y'all to drop some comments and let us know, why is that something that's not a priority? And you don't measure that in terms of what you say. You measure that in terms of what you do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Are you getting it in? Are you making yourself available? Are you just, resonating with how tired you are? And staying in your corner, or are you extending yourself and pushing yourself somewhere else? Oftentimes when we push ourselves to connect and to engage sexually, what we end up finding out is that exactly what we weren't really feeling and we weren't really tripping off of is exactly what we needed. You had a long day, you're stressed, the kids had so much going on, you had to come home, figure out what to make, your boss was tripping, your husband is, having an attitude, whatever, right? And as soon as, he started looking like he's trying to get something, like, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm just trying to sit down for a minute. It's the first time I done sat down. There's many a day where I'm at home and I say, this is the first time I sat down since I've been home. And it will be 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I ain't sat down. I've just been in the kitchen with the kids, with the baby, doing something with the business, right? And so I ain't tripping off that. Nobody want to hear that. But as soon as you get it, you're like, well, daggone it. That's what I need. It's a stress reliever.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It takes you to a exhaling place, right? And you're like, dang, it's kind of like you don't even know what you don't know. You don't even know what you need. And so oftentimes we resist because we say that there are things getting in the way. Fine 29 says logistics and schedules, right? All of that stuff gets in the way. But you have to be willing to make it a priority, even if you have to schedule it. Now, look, whoever putting these little mad faces, can y'all tell me what y'all talking about? Like, come on, drop some comments so that we know, where you at, because we want this dialogue to be
it definitely
robust.
Is a priority. But what I will say is this, but what I'll say in addition to it being a priority, in reference to a goal that needs to be in place, I'm gonna go ahead and rock the boat. It definitely
is a priority. You talking about us now? Or you just talking about it needs to be a priority?
Yeah, it needs to be a priority.
Oh, you said it is a priority. Like you talking about.
It is a priority. Sex is a priority.
Mm-hmm. It's not for everybody. That's the point that we're making.
The point that I'm making is that it is a priority if you want to have a healthy relationship.
Okay, it should be.
It is a priority if you want to have a healthy.
You probably didn't say that the best, but that's. You get mad at me right now.
All right, so check this out. So what I want to lift up, y'all, is this. I'm gonna go ahead and push the envelope a little bit. And what I want to say is that, so one of your sex goals for 2019 should be this: to do it in public.
Ooh?
Yes, that's one of my sex goals for 2019.
Okay, I'm about to say something. I put myself out there too much. Okay.
To do it in public. Who can feel that right there? Doing it in public. Can y'all remember a time period? Now, see, we go way back.
It's a whole lot of mad faces. We
go back to.
Now, I was gonna say
we go back to high school.
So that's not something that hasn't happened.
I mean, we grown. We in the 40+.
But that was back in the day.
So I'm willing to take some risks. If you're willing to take some risks, let me see some hearts. Who out there is willing to take some risks?
He said, "Oh yeah."
Thank you. I'm glad the fellas are supporting this. I need some sisters to support this as well. Any ladies out there supporting doing it in public? I'm not saying doing it with children around or anything like that. Of course, you want to be discreet, But who's feeling the secrecy, the public displays of affection, the public connection, the intimacy, the raw, unabated intimacy that brings about sweat and intensity and passion? Who's feeling that? You see all of these hearts right here? People are feeling that right there. That's what people want. And so,
and y'all know y'all do it.
2019
who don't want that?
Is to do it in public. I'm not saying get caught. Don't get caught. Don't get locked up. Don't get arrested or anything. But do it in public and do it away from.
That's what we should
do. It away from kids. Do it away from
be
kids.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Be respectable. Right. Yeah. But I think the important thing really to really focus in on when you think about that, y'all, is this. It's really about taking some risks and doing some new and sexy things. So for some of y'all, that may be like, we do it in public once a week. I don't know. We have our spot that we go to. Nobody knows. I don't know what it is. But you need to do something new and you need to take a risk. When we get into places where we get stagnant in any area of our life, and also when it comes to sex, when we get stagnant, it's because we are going through a routine. We have become used to engaging our partner a particular way. Y'all walk in the bedroom, one person turn off the light, the other person pull back the sheets, the other person lay down like that. You know what I'm saying? No. You have to do something different. And you have to challenge yourself to do that, because human beings, we are creatures of habit, and familiarity and routine make us feel good. It is a nurturing thing to have that. I love the routine that I have in my family. I love the routine that I have with my husband when it comes to all kinds of things that we do, including sex. But we cannot get so rooted in that we lose the ability to take risks. Remember when you were little, and you know for myself, you went to some of y'all didn't, because some folks were never messing with roller coasters and stuff like that. But I remember when I used to go to the theme parks when I was little, and I used to love to get on them roller coasters. I'd be ready. I was the first one on them in line, chuckling at my friends who were like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, wow, today you're not going to catch me on a roller coaster. Now, some of that is because I'm just old. They say the older you get, the more inhibited you get. And it's not that you naturally become more inhibited as you get older, but when you hear the comment, oh, people get set in their ways, it's not that there's something happening about your ways that's making you more set. It's that you are refraining from doing something different. The more you refrain from having new experiences, then the easier it is for you to become very much wedded to what you know. And so that is what couples need to understand, that if you don't do new things, go to new places, you ain't got to go to Paris. Man, you can go somewhere in your neighborhood that you ain't never been before, right? Go to new places, do new things, have sex in different ways, do it in different positions. There are sex retreats where they focus on how to have better sex. Some of y'all like, what? Who does that? How about you try it? It's a brand new layer of life and love that you add to your relationship when you try new things. So you got to make sure that not only are you having the sex talk and you're having that funky, kind of awkward conversation for many of you, but you're also making sex a priority and you are trying some new things. Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, so another goal for 2019, y'all. And again, if you haven't shared this video yet, please go ahead and share it. Please share, please share, please share. And we changed our setting this evening. We downstairs in the basement because we're trying to get away from the kids and make sure they don't hear what we're talking about tonight. So forgive our background. It's kind of bland and stale. In any event.
Keep apologizing for that.
So number two, y'all. Number two. And we don't even have a certain number that we're going to be talking about. But number two.
I done said three things.
Somebody said one.
I said.
Somebody said one.
Wait a minute, y'all.
Somebody said one. They said one was doing it in public. So number two.
Okay.
Number two, your sex goal for 2019. Number two is to bring some manipulatives or toys into the bedroom. Woo! Bring manipulatives or toys into the bedroom.
Yes.
Give us some hearts. Give us some likes if y'all down for that.
And if you're not feeling it, do the mad faces if y'all ain't feeling the toys. Everybody not into the toys. I will say that my husband is an explorer, and he's bought stuff. I'm like, what is that? What is that thing?
I see you, Bruce.
and so everyone is not always interested, right? In that, like, dude, like me and you are good. I don't know what that thing is, and I get it away from me. but what I will say is that I love that you. Oh, I don't have this. Y'all, I don't need no hit. I don't need no mic, do I? Y'all can hear me. But what I love about my husband is that he stays surprising me. He stays surprising me, you know, and you know, I love that about you, that you're willing to even explore on your own and then bring stuff home. Like, look, I got this right here. I'm like, what is that? You know? And so the willingness, it's not about whether or not you're going to do it. Don't have that reaction when your partner comes in the house. I don't do no what. See, even that energy on the inside, I am like, what the fuck? I am like that. Like, real talk. I'm like this. What is this? Can we just what? You know what I'm saying?
Can we just do it?
Can we just do it?
Can I just be basic?
What is this in the bag? Can I just
be basic, baby?
Yeah. What is this bag he's bringing out? What is this? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it, right? And so I'm oftentimes not really down, but that's not the energy that I display. You are my pusher. This is true. You push me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so bring some toys. That's goal number 2. Bring some toys, some manipulatives, and they really enhance the experience for many people. We've coached some couples through utilizing some manipulatives, some toys, and it could be something as simple as like a feather, some you know, strawberries, whipped cream. It ain't gotta be real elaborate, but just bring something outside of yourself sometimes to enhance the quality of the intimacy in the bedroom. It's a surprise, y'all. It can really be a surprise in terms of how it impacts the sex dynamic. It's a beautiful thing when you can, you know, get the bananas, the strawberries, the toys, and you can really do some things quite outstanding in the bedroom. You really can.
And there are all kinds of things. You know, there are vibrators. There are particular kinds of toys. There are anal toys.
So I know what some dudes say is that, you know, I'm not trying to bring something in the bedroom that's bigger than me.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what some dudes say. Like, I'm not.
But it's a manipulative. It's not a person.
No, but let's talk on that for a second. So some guys are self-conscious and saying that I'm not going to bring something in the bedroom that's bigger than me, because then you might have an appetite for something that I'm not. And not necessarily.
I mean, I don't know, but and also maybe not so much that it's bigger than me, but if you're gaining pleasure from it, right, from this toy, and it's not me. You know what I'm saying? That I'm feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Do y'all know? I mean, can we get some hearts of brothers? Is that a big thing? It's like, I don't know. Or are most men, you know, turned on by the fact that their woman might be willing to explore? Why y'all laughing though? So I get a lot of laughs out here. I think the message that we want you all to make sure that you have is this. If you're doing it together, if you all are like-minded and you're on one accord, that means that you all are both open. There are going to be places where one person is not with it, or they're not understanding, you know, where you're coming from, and maybe they may even get offended. Then that's a cue for you not to then also get mad and be like, forget it, and I'm done. But it's a cue for you to have a conversation, back to having the conversation. Because what does it mean? Why is this an issue for you? You have to ask the questions that you need to do, and all of the techniques and tips that we give you all year round about communication and about making sure that you are looking for the unmet need in your partner. Perhaps they're scared, perhaps they're nervous, perhaps they feel intimidated, perhaps particularly for partners who have any kind of erectile issues, particularly for men who may have any kind of erectile dysfunction, right? They can get it up sometimes, other times they can't. That's a very, 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 very sensitive issue. And so oftentimes couples find themselves getting frustrated with one another, but you have to be able to, again, look to the unmet need in your partner. You know, they might be being critical right now, but they're really scared, or they're wondering how you're looking at them, right? Whatever it is, you will not know unless you have the conversations you need to have so that you can have the kind of sex that y'all deserve to have.
But you know what? I'm curious, because I want to ask the women, when it comes to, and I know the answer to this question, but I want some women to chime in on it. When it comes to you experiencing toys and other manipulatives in the bedroom, the ability to experience satisfaction from those things, does it take away from the satisfaction that you experience in your relationship with your spouse?
What?
The fact that you can experience satisfaction through manipulatives and toys, does it take away from your connection and the satisfaction that you experience in your relationship with your partner? So are they mutually exclusive? Like, or do they operate do they coexist? Like, I want some women to speak on that, and I even want you to speak on that in reference to, like, can you have both and? Can you have the experience and the pleasure from a toy, from a manipulative, but still feel really connected with your partner? So I see Fine 29, she says not at all. It doesn't take away at all. Are you not understanding the question?
I mean, and this is like just respectfully. I mean, why, who would, and I'm not coming for nobody, but why, what does a toy have to do, the pleasure that a toy brings me have to do with my connection or not with you? Like, how does that even?
So I know what the answer is, but I'm asking that question because a lot of guys have concern about bringing other things into the bedroom because they think that it might be a substitute for them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so I'm trying to get clarity from some of the women. Like, do you feel as though, and I see some women are saying, like, no, you most certainly not. So for the guys who are on this live stream right here, if there's some hesitancy based off of the fact that you got King Kong Dong under the bed or in the chest, and you're not trying to bring that thing out because your wife might feel some sort of way about that, and you're concerned about the fact that she might prefer that over you. What my wife is saying and what other women are saying is that no, it does not take away from the intimacy. I told you it was going to get hot. The intimacy, the connection, the sexual satisfaction that she experiences with you.
The thing too to remember about women is it's not that women are not sexual beings. We're very much sexual beings. You know, women are just as freaky as men are, if not more so. You just gotta know where to tap into us to be able to open that up, right? But the thing to remember about women is that in terms of how women connect when it comes to emotional connection and sexual connection, women oftentimes connect in emotionally, and that emotional connection then opens them up to better be able to connect in sexually. For men, oftentimes it is the other way around, where they are expressive, and doesn't mean that this is, like a hard and fast black and white thing, right? But oftentimes they are expressive physically. They want to sexually connect and touch and feel. And that level of physical engagement and connection and touch and stimulation then opens them up emotionally. So women start with the emotions and then are able to better move into the sexual connection. Men can start with the sexual connection and then are better able to tap in to their emotions. So when you think about that question for women, if I'm getting turned on and satisfied by a toy, it's just that, right? Like my emotional connection is still going to be not challenged by that toy, because with you. And the same with the physical piece in terms of being concerned, like, I'm gonna be all into the toy because I want you. And if there is concern around these things, y'all, put it out there and say it. We have to allow each other to be able to talk freely. That's one of the biggest problems in relationships, particularly when it comes to sex, is that I'll say some stuff sometimes to my husband, and I know it's dumb. It's stupid as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this don't make no, I sound, like young little, wet behind the ears girl, right? But I know I can say it. I know that I can fully be myself and that I can put myself out there, because we all have concerns, vulnerabilities, self-doubt, whatever. So you got to set up the dynamic so that you can have the conversations you need to have freely without judgment. And y'all can make it do what it do.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all another one. A sex goal for 2019, and this is gonna be real raw, y'all. And so I really want you to. No, I didn't die. Wow. And so sex goal for 2019, is to.
Well, you really pausing on this joint. I'm concerned. What you about to say?
Nah, I mean, because it may be leaning more so towards the men, what I'm about to say, and men may resonate with this a little bit more. But I think that it definitely should be a goal in relationships because it enhances the passion in relationships when you do this.
He trying to set this. He's trying to set this joint up like you trying to like get it, be convincing before you even say it.
I mean, and I'm doing that for a reason.
Okay.
Because when it comes to 2019, what I want y'all to do more of.
Who, the men?
No, I mean just couples.
Okay.
What couples should do more of, and they should make this a goal, is to fuck.
Fuck. Okay, don't say that. Just say F.
No, I'm saying the word.
Okay.
So I'm not saying make love. I'm not saying make love. I'm saying to fuck. And I'm saying that because there's a difference. Yes, you can make
yes,
love.
Danny, he keeping it all the way real.
Keeping it all the way real. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people who are married, a lot of married couples don't enter into that. They have a passionless relationship. And so one of the key things that make my wife and I so on fire and so on point sexually is that we make love and we fuck.
Okay, can you stop saying it though?
And so it's a real talk. You know, you didn't make sure that, you know, when it comes to your relationship that you know, you have those heated moments of intense passion where you just can't get enough of each other. And it's not one of those things where it's scheduled. It's not one of those things where you're laying out the lingerie, but you just take it. And I'm not talking about taking it in an abusive type way, but you take it and she takes it from you because you all understand the value of that in a relationship. Like y'all are in heat. Can y'all remember when y'all were first in a relationship and y'all were? No, I'm serious.
You're talking about like we're animals.
You got to enter into that animalistic space sometimes.
They said, "Oh my,"
and that's okay. I'm seeing a lot of hearts and a lot of understanding. And women are saying yes.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing.
Yes, yes, yes.
I was just saying, you making it.
I mean, there's something that's special about entering into that raw, unabated, animalistic type, you know, and having that energy.
And here's what I can say. So this is one of those sacred places in marriage and with your partner that you can have with your partner that you have with no other human being on earth.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, this so deep to me about that is that there are some places that I will never ever go anywhere with anybody but this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those places. And so if you can create that space, oh my goodness, you know, sometimes I'm out in the middle of the day. I might be at Target. I might be, you know, wherever. I might be in a meeting somewhere, you know, and I already know, like, you know, when I get home a little bit later on, we've been giving each other certain energy. I know what's going down. And I'm just, you know, it's like, have you ever, like, you're getting ready to go to a good concert and you look excited for it, or you're getting ready to go to something that's really entertaining, right? Like sex can be like that,
mm-hmm.
where I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm ready. Like, when the kids go to bed, we about to do this thing. It's not just another thing to do. And it's not just good. It's like everything, and I'm ready for the main event. And that's, I think, what you're talking about is that ability to have that spontaneity, and to, you know, as you so eloquently put it, you know, do that.
Don't act like you don't cuss. You cuss way more than me.
That's not me, you know. That's just so inappropriate.
Whatever.
I'm not going to say those words on Facebook.
Yeah, so I see y'all appreciate that. And so what I would also say is that, so if that's a goal in 2019, the goal is also to make love.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is also to make love.
So what's the difference?
So I recognize that my wife, she appreciates a certain approach. You know, she appreciates the delicacy, the tenderness, the touching, the affection, the all day long woo.
Hold up. I want somebody to walk up behind me and kiss me on my neck and breathe on my neck.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, work with me.
Yes.
Breathe on my neck, right? Like, slowly get me there.
So that should be a goal for 2019 too, y'all. So
why you don't seem as excited about that one?
No, I mean, it just requires.
It should be a goal for 2019 too, guys.
Yeah, it requests and requires a different type of energy. So make sure you're tuning into your partner, turning towards your partner, and taking your time with your boo, taking your time with your mate. Because again, going straight to it don't work for everybody. Now, yes, that is a goal for 2019 to get straight to it at certain points in time, but you also have to slow grind that thing. You know, you also have to make sure that you're doing a slow dance. Don't always percolate, but just take your time and slow dance and eventually arrive at a point where y'all get to the intimacy, to the sexual connection.
All right, here's another one for you. In 2019, have morning sex at least twice a month. Twice a month. Now, a lot of folks, I've heard this one over the years, and people have, that number has been increased. But I'm like, dude, ain't nobody doing that, John. Like, I got to get up and get out. I got a morning routine. So nobody's doing that weekly. That's not, you know, and some of y'all do, because there are people who find that morning sex really works for them. You know, you're up, it's first thing. But, you know, again, it's about having some variety in the relationship, connecting in a different way. You've gotten that out in the morning. That feels good, right? And you connected in a very intimate way in the morning. And it's actually been proven. I'm going to give you this little tidbit. It's been proven that morning sex is great for you. It's a great way to start the day. It's a great way to start the day because when you have come away from an experience first thing in the morning and your brain has experienced the fact that you have pleasured your partner has pleasured you, you all have had that experience, it sets the tone for the day. So there's been research that has shown that when couples do that, they not only reinforce their bond and their ability to connect in, but they are actually setting themselves up for having a bang day. So have that morning sex. I say a couple times a month. You could really do it more than that, but I think that that's a really, really good one.
And another one, y'all, is in addition to the morning sex. And one thing about the morning sex, though, is that depending upon.
But let me just say that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, depending upon where you are in your stage of life, morning sex might be an exhausting proposition. You know,
shut up.
No, I'm serious. Like the older you get, like your body don't necessarily respond the same way. So you
just because you go to sleep 2 seconds after sex, don't mean that everybody in the morning time gonna get up and go straight to sleep.
Ladies, should that be a goal? Should that be a goal for the guys to not go to sleep after sex?
Wake up! Oh my gosh! Lord have mercy. This man, but you know what?
I give you a compliment though, right?
No, this man, literally, he's like, you know, we're gonna cuddle and okay, baby. He's like, all right, I'm about to turn over. He let me know I'm about to turn up. Okay, boo. Now
what did I say prior to that?
I get energy.
What did I say prior to that?
And he literally is like,
what do I say though, then? I said you put me to sleep.
But I don't even know. I need the men on here. Are all of y'all going to sleep after sex? Is everybody doing it? I have heard that quite a bit. I have heard that quite a bit.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just like I think that you actually treat it as like a sleeping aid.
You think so?
I do.
Nah, it's just that
you do. You're like, okay, yeah, great, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2. Because I start talking, he like, boy, I'm not listening.
I can't help it, man. You rock me to sleep. You put me there.
Let me just add this little tidbit real quick. We talked about doing new things and trying new positions. If you can make sure that when we give you goals like that, that you concretize that, you break it down so that it's not some big, lofty, awesome goal, I think that's going to be helpful for you. So in that example, if you're trying new things, perhaps you might concretize that, make it plain, make it real. You need to have an outcome you're looking for. So for the goals that you're putting in place, the sex goals you're putting in place for yourself in 2019, you should know when I reach this, I've met success. It's not just a theory. You need to have a concrete thing you're looking for. So for example, in that, you can make a plan to try one new position a week or a month. Try one new position, I would say a month. Try one new position a month. And if you do that and you do that for 12 months, then rate yourself at the end of the year. When we're coming into 2020, you know what I'm saying? Do you got 12 new positions that you can, you know, that you can add to your belt, right? So make sure that you really do try some new things and that you make it concrete. Bruce said, I'm 50, I'm going to sleep.
But please prepare because as you age, you know, it's very easy to pull a hamstring, you know, during the act of sex. So make sure, and ladies, ladies. Men want you to be limber. We want you to be able to move and manipulate your body like you in your 20s. If you can't do that, stretch beforehand. So maybe that should be a goal, that you actually stretch. You stretch before the act of sex. Like if you're in a situation where you can't spread your legs, you can't put them back, you can't do the spider, you can't do a number of different things.
Every time my husband like, boo, let me my leg go down. What are you doing? Pushing that jump all the way back. What you doing right now? You know, I'm gangster with it. I go and I'm like, Lord, I'm getting a stretch like a man right now. I'm gonna pull a muscle out this joint.
So make sure you can stretch. Hey, another goal for 2019, y'all, is to engage in mutual masturbation. Now we lifted this up before.
Yeah, that's a good one, y'all.
It really is a good one. And so when we say mutual masturbation, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. One way that I recommend is for the both of you to masturbate each other. So you're sitting in front of each other, looking at each other. And so your spouse, your wife is reaching out to.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Masturbate each other.
So knock each other off. Well, I don't know.
You try to be professional. Yeah. Masturbate each other.
So he plays with you and you play with him, or he plays with him and she plays with her. Whatever it is, y'all masturbate each other, and you're doing it when you're facing each other. You're actually looking at each other in each other's eyes.
Eye contact.
Yeah, it's really important. And so you all bring
Janelle,
each other to.
That's good. Janelle said yoga is the key to better sex. Janelle, that is so true. I'm with you on that. You should
do some yoga.
I've been getting ready to start yoga for the last 6 months. I ain't done it yet, but I really want to do yoga. I want to do yoga. I want to do yoga for spiritual enlightenment reasons, not because I want to increase my flexibility. No, I want to do all of that. I want to do all of that.
So again, masturbate each other. So again, that's one way where you actually stimulate each other by touching each other's genitalia until the other person comes to ejaculation. The other way is to do it yourself next to your partner, and y'all masturbate. You masturbate on your own, and y'all are laying next to each other, either watching pornography or listening to music or telling each other dirty stories or whatever it may be. But
dirty stories. Look, that don't even run over that real quick. That's a good one, dirty. Do you remember how y'all know the game where you start telling a story and then the other person picks up and another person picks up, right? And there's this creative story at the end. You all should do that as a couple. You tell them dirty stories while you're masturbating together, or a story, right? And you all just keep, volleyballing that back and forth, and taking it in whatever direction you want it to go in, so that y'all can, be on one accord and have an orgasm together.
Reach culmination.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to say that. Culminate together wonderfully. All right, guys, we got one more thing for you.
So Janelle said the happy pose.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Janelle, I'm about to bring you on live. You're going to tell us what that is. What's the happy baby pose? Janelle says, try the happy baby yoga pose. Oh, my husband just looked it up. The happy baby pose. Let me see that. Oh, Janelle, that looks like a good one. I like that. Everybody Google right now. Go to another page and Google happy baby pose. For real, that's a good one. Legs up. Pose. I don't know. That looks like what? That looks like you're going for something else.
For what?
It looks like.
It's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that, but. So inappropriate. The last thing we're going to say for you all this evening is this, guys. You want to make sure that you make out often. Meet each other for the first time. Connect with one another. Be creative. What are all these things, getting at? What do these things have in common? What they have in common is this. The same way you got your boo is the same way you're going to maintain your boo. You used to take time with it. You went to the dollar store and got some candles. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And put them around the house, right? You made sure that you had your what was that? The tapes you used to have back in the day?
Yeah. You had Prince on one side and
Prince on one side.
Marvin Gaye on another. I had Luther Vandross.
You was ready. You put them joints in. I mean, I'm like, this tape never ends. There's 25,000 songs on this joint. You know what I'm saying? The joint never ended.
Oh yeah.
So again, the kind of energy and investment that we had in our partners and in our relationship early on is very, very important to continue to do, and recognize that the more you get away from something and the less you take risks, then the more apt you are to start to feel a little funny, because you don't know if your sweetheart is going to look at you like, what the hell are you doing? Right? And you kind of feel some type of way. But whoever has the most insight is obligated to use it. And so you've gotten some insight tonight. Yes. Somebody talked about Zane books or movies or something like that. You can look at short movies together. You can watch, it's not for everybody, but some couples, quite a few couples actually like to watch pornography together, right? It's about how you use it to elevate your relationship or not, right? So it's not that in and of itself, I don't feel is bad or negative. It's about how you use it. So
I like this question right here. So Kamari asks, is going to the swingers club to watch other couples too far? And so I think that everybody in their relationship has to define and determine what's best and what works for them. And so, when it comes to the whole threesome piece, that may be a goal for you in your relationship, but of course it can't be a goal.
They didn't say to do that. They just said to watch.
I know, but to watch it probably eventually means that we're going to include somebody in a relationship. And so, even though it wasn't said,
it's easier to avoid than to resist.
It is easier to avoid than to resist. But again, so watching, is
you
that
can watch it
similar
on? You can watch it on a
But if you go watch it in person, why not?
You can watch it on a video.
But if you go watch it in person, why?
Because it's easier to avoid than to resist. Yeah. And the same way that we have said many a times that there are lots of things, lots of fantasies that people have. And we need to take the taboo away from the fantasy, but we need to be clear about what is a danger to our relationship in reality. See, if you can go there, that's why, Antonio, HIV is real.
Now,
right?
I mean,
if you hold on, let me just preach for a second. If you can go there in your mind and you have that space with your partner, then so be it. And I don't like when people try to make it seem like, oh my God, that's not of God, and that's this and that's that. We all have parts of ourselves that are not explored, and that are sensual and take us to heights that we have never ever seen. Where else can you do it if you can't do it with your partner? But to be able to recreate or create that in your relationship in a safe place, in an intentional place where you're connecting and you're building with that person only, that's what it's about. When you take it outside of the relationship, most of us have a hard time and are struggling or are striving just to maintain the one relationship we got. And so when you start going about the house and you doing all this other stuff, now you're in territory that is not your territory. So stay in your lane and stay in your relationship and your marriage, and you will be all right.
That's real talk right there.
That's real talk. That's real talk. We might like to think, well, there's polygamy and people do things, and look, we don't want to get into another class where we're talking about the statistics in America, particularly in the Black family and in Black couples and Black relationships, and in terms of how many relationships are surviving. Master your marriage, master your relationship. And that doesn't mean that you can't go to far grandiose taboo places in your relationship, but keep it in the house. Or you can do it in public. But again, keep it between the two of you.
Now, we have worked with couples who have explored the other option. And
because we don't judge, but we're going to tell you what best practices are.
Yeah, everybody can't do that.
Everybody can't. Yeah, everybody should.
And so, again, when it comes to your relationship, y'all, it's really important that you prioritize sex in 2019. Don't sleep on sex. Make sure sex is a part of your daily diet. And I'm not saying that to say that it has to be something that you're doing with your partner where you're actually ejaculating, you're experiencing some type of physical erection, or you're inserting, or you're receiving. But what I'm saying is that there needs to be some type of connection in your relationship that's really revolving around sex, because it can sustain the relationship. My wife and I, we've been together now for 23, 24 years. I don't know how long it's been, but we've been married for 16. We've been married for 16. And we have a very healthy and robust sex life. I love this woman right here.
And we're not faking, we real.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it.
And I know I'm blessed because of that. I don't take that for granted.
So speak on that. You blessed?
No, I'm blessed. So I want you all to understand that you are blessed no matter what you have going for you, whether it's your sex life, your connection, your communication, y'all are like best friends, y'all are good partners, you all know how to parent well, whatever it is, you are blessed. Make sure that you focus on what your blessing is, the things that you have to work on in 2019, particularly as it relates to sex and communication and connection. That's all good and that's all right. Everybody got to work in some way, but I can't say that I am blessed because we've always had a good chemistry and we've always had a really good connection. Everybody doesn't have that, but everybody can get there. Oh, but praises be to God, for real. Because we don't always had it. You don't always been able to do it for me. And I know that that's a blessing. It's a gift. And it's our goal to make sure that we share the gift and answer the call of the Creator as we help to lift your marriages and your relationships up every single day. Again, y'all, 2019 is a brand new opportunity to get it right. Have sex, make love, be connected, be communicating, take risks, be vulnerable. You're so very welcome. We'll see you next week. This is a sex series. If you didn't hear that, I don't know if we said it early on. We will be focusing on sex for the next 2 or 3 sessions, definitely for the next couple, because we want to take you further and further along the path of connection and sexual satisfaction. You can do it. Share this, y'all. Y'all know the show was good. And y'all's comments are good as a mug. They hilarious. So make sure you share this video. We'll see you next week. Peace, y'all.
Peace.